Buffalo is on the ban list. Don't you ever bring a Buffalo bet to my attention ever again. I never want to see that name, Buffalo. I never want to watch Silence of the Lambs. I don't want to go to Buffalo Wild Wings. Don't you ever mention Buffalo ever again. That was the common sentiment shared in the Patreon chat the other day after Buffalo threw yet another stinker, couldn't score, so the line combos returned a bunch of donuts. And then that's the common gargoyle sentiment that people want to do. The same way if somebody wins on something, they just want to go right back to it. And if they lose on something, they just want to eliminate it for the season. Everybody ends up on the ban list if you follow that type of philosophy. But what happens when you stick with it? Because if there's a team I was ever going to put on the ban list, it's Calgary. They screwed us 80% of last year, and they've picked up right where they left off. See, full Swiss cheese last night. 1 goal, 1 guy from each line, full Swiss cheese. But not Buffalo, because Buffalo, on the other hand, turned it into a plus 10 unit night for us on the line combos. And why is that? Oh, it was just the random Sabres eruption. No, it didn't happen in the Colorado game like I thought it may have. But it came out. We got some yesteryear Scam 5 ruckus. And the reason we love ruckus here, and the reason we love ruckus, especially in terms of line combos, is because you clear them all. And as I've mentioned since day one, if you clear the lot, you can lose the rest of the slate, and you're more than fine. We had a 25%, or by we, I mean me. It's not like anybody else is contributing anything, but we had a plus 10 unit night on a 25% winning night. So we had back-to-back plus 10 unit nights. And as I just keep trying to say, that is the beauty of the line combos. And if you're going to sit here and scream and say, but you told us about the damn Seth Jones assist with the Sam Reinhart 2 points. I also took time to explain where that came from and said you are going to have many opportunities to take a player for 2 points with a defenseman assist. You teach a man to sniff, you feed him for life. You guys just want to be fed for a day. You want the daily sniff. But if you just would have paid attention, look at some of the 2-point defenseman plays that hit last night. So not only did the Buffalo line combos come through, but 2 points for McLeod and assist for Bo Byram. It was no different than the Demidov play. We had the 2 points for Tage Thompson, the assist for Rasmus Dahlin, and that made the entire night. The Buffalo Sabres, mark it down on your calendar, made our October 15th night. So now let's look at October 16th. We have a healthy Thursday slate, which is typically the case. And the same way everybody on the Patreon banned the Buffalo Sabres, I'm now going to talk about a team that everybody banned the other night. A team that, 1 goal in 3 home games? I'm talking about the New York Rangers. Yep. Everybody just start getting angry. They are on everyone's ban list. This team cannot score. Trocheck is injured. And now they're going to Toronto to take on the Maple Leafs. But here's what I'll say. You want to know what I think is a nice little wink? When I open up the sports book and I see, oh man, what's this 5.5 line going to be set at? What's the price going to be? Is it going to be juice to the under? No. I see it set at 6.5. When I see a line for this game, a team who just can't score at all, and then I know Toronto had an offensive outburst last game, but they're still finding their ways offensively. The power play hasn't been clicking. So why would this line be set at 6.5? Nowadays in the NHL, you see nothing but 5.5s and 6s unless you go to a place like Columbus and Colorado's in town, and we'll get to that in just a second. But I'm going to do something that's not popular whatsoever. And I'm going to look at those New York Rangers for some potential point props. I always tell you this. I don't care that I'm an Islanders fan. I always try to give you the correct and proper sniffs. And it's no different than always. Remember the fastball? The fastball is on this slate. I told you to always enjoy the plus money Suzuki plus Caulfield, because I enter these lines, the good ones, into a little doc every single day for 2 seasons now. I know what the line is. And I said it's only a matter of time before they're going to be in the minus. And Larkin and Raymond are going to be in the minus. Kempe and Kopitar, if you took them by themselves, would be in the minus. All the good ones are slowly heading into the minus. It doesn't matter what sportsbook you have. You could have the line friendliest one and the fastballs coming in at a minus 125. So if you show me a top line, top power play guy on the New York Rangers, and my God, in the past, this was a very good power play, but then again, that was with Trocheck and Kreider, and they're trying to, refigure their way. But I'm seeing these point prices. You have Artemi Panarin. It's still ridiculously expensive. So how is he registering a point, but not the other guys on his line? I'm simply going to go to the best price I'm seeing on the top line of the New York Rangers, plus 110 for Alexis Lafreniere. If they're going to score, that top line has to come through. They have nobody. Look at this Rangers roster. They got JT Miller on that second line with Will Cooley. But if they're going to score at all, the top line, it has to come through on the power play, and it has to come through even a little bit at even strength. And I know Matthews, his line is very good defensively, but it's either that top line or pretty much nothing, because JT Miller has started off this season very cold. So I'm going to go with Alexis Lafreniere for a point. I always try to find a little point prop combo in there. So you give me his point with Artemi Panarin's assist. And then I just teased that 6.5 total out there in Columbus, where if you remember last year, ruckus was brewed up in Columbus more often than not. Sometimes when Columbus went on the road, that offense didn't travel with them. But when the games were in Columbus, we could rely on goals being scored in that game. And looking at these two teams, there are plenty of options available. And I see a fantastic trickle-down snakeonomics play on the Columbus Blue Jackets side. We have a classic case of guy moving down from line 1 to line 3, and guy who was already on power play 1 moving up to line 1 with the best two players, or two of the best forwards on the team. I'm talking about Kent Johnson, who was buried on the third line with Charlie Coyle. Kent Johnson is a very good player. There's a reason he was on power play 1 all of last year for the most part, at least the back half of last year, and why he was such a solid contributor and remained on that top power play. But this guy's never been given good line mates at 5-on-5. Well, now Baronkov's being kicked down to the third line. Kent Johnson's being moved up to the top line, but he's pulling a plus 100 even money price. That's what you get. You get a 1 to 2 game grace period where it's like, look, we heard he's on line 1, but we're still going to give you a pre-game discount. Before we see that line take the ice, you get a decent discount, because plus 100 for Kent Johnson, who's on that top power play and is going to be playing with Marchenko and Monahan. I mean, that's a great price for Kent Johnson, who's a great player. So standard trickle-down snakeonomics there, plus 100. And you have two separate options here. We can go with the line combo that I taught you last week, when the whole line, the big slick combo, when the top line is all together on the top power play. You can do 2 points for Sean Monahan with a point for Kent Johnson and an assist for Marchenko. That's one option. Or you can do this 2 points with the power play defenseman assist, which I've been preaching and which has been nailing. I don't know, it's actually been the main moneymaker so far for me on the Patreon and the line combo doc to this point. But if you want to do the Kent Johnson over 1.5 points and the Zach Werenski assist, now choose one or the other. Choose 2 points for Kent Johnson with the Zach Werenski assist, or the 2 points for Sean Monahan, point for Kent Johnson, assist for Kirill Marchenko. So that's on the Columbus side, but there's not a chance in hell I'm leaving here without dabbling on the Colorado side. Now, I know what you're probably thinking. I love Marty Necas, that top line, but they've been producing so much where, just like kind of, the fastball, we kind of got to look elsewhere. And in this case, I'm happy to look elsewhere, because these players on the second line, they're too good in an offense that's too good in a game whose total is 6.5, where I'm going to stay away from it. Gabe Landeskog, Val Nichushkin, and even, my former guy, Brock Nelson, those players are too good to be held off the score sheet as much as they have been. I think this is a game against this Columbus Blue Jackets team, who's very friendly in terms of giving up scoring chances. I think this is the game that second line is finally going to really break through. So I'm going to go. I mean, think about this. The point prop combo between Val Nichushkin and Gabe Landeskog is north of plus 250. And I know they're not on the top power play, but these are very, very, very good players. And I think this is the game that they're going to show that. So give me Val Nichushkin and Gabe Landeskog, both for a point on the road against the Columbus Blue Jackets. And then let's go to Dallas, where I got a little conundrum I'm dealing with here because I'm never going to say no to solid point prop values. The Vancouver Canucks, who have been inducted into my Scam 5. I told you yesterday I had to kick out the Sabres, I had to kick out the Penguins, just because they're so bad, nobody thinks they're good anymore. Well, we had to welcome a couple teams, and Vancouver obviously was one of them. I said it before last season started, and it's going right back into this year. However, there is talent on that top line. I know Elias Pettersson, like Shawn Michaels, has lost his smile for a couple of seasons. But him, Brock Besser, and J.Debrusk, these are good players. And I'm sitting there staring at their points. Minus 110, plus 100, and minus 110. Now, I want to remind you, I put these numbers on a document every single day last season. These are not the prices for these three guys. Every once in a while, if J.Debrusk last season was not on the top power play, maybe he would be at a plus 100, a plus 110. But if he was on that top line, his point prop would be reflected. But now he's on the top power play, and he's playing with Pettersson and Besser. I understand Dallas is a good team. We got to do it. We got to take either Pettersson or DeBrusk. Or are we taking the whole line? Let's just stay in the plus money. We took Lafreniere plus 110. Give me J.Debrusk plus 110. But man, I was a fan of Pettersson when he was really having those 100-point seasons and looked unstoppable. I'm so tempted, but he doesn't look. It's like somebody stole it. Like Austin Powers and Dr. Evil literally stole his mojo. And I don't know where it went.
All right, I've had enough. Oh, hell, let's just do what we always do. Hijack some nuclear weapons and hold the world hostage.
And by the way, let's not lose sight of the fact that every freaking time I say something here during the video, something won't happen. And then the very next game, of course, what happens? Jordan Kyrou, Dylan Holloway, both with a point last night. Or after the original Slavkovsky, what happens the next game? So just out of sheer spite, in this New Jersey Devils, Florida Panthers game, I think I'm going to go back to the Seth Jones play. The point got even higher. The point is at like at plus 150. I'm taking it because I'm not scared of, yes, the Devils are in my Scam 5. The New Jersey Devils, who are always a little bit liable on the back end, if you ask me. I think Florida should be able to score a couple goals. Look, Florida's going to go through some stretches, especially on the road. That's 2 goals in Philadelphia, 1 goal against Detroit last night. Sometimes they're going to have a little trouble finding some offense, but I think after that loss last night, they'll rebound relatively well. So give me that Seth Jones point. I'm going to go back to it, see how it goes. Does that mean I want to do? Yeah, sure, let's do it. 2 points for Sam Reinhart and the assist for Seth Jones. Just because, listen, I tell you, part of the beauty of it, look at the price. If it misses last game, this game, the next game, but then hits the game after that, you're still well into the profits. That's how it works. That's how yesterday's sheet was up 10 units. That's how the sheet the night before that was up 10 units. That's how we are up over 30 units, I believe, since the season has started. Despite me having the worst night pretty much in a full calendar year. Even with that in there, plus 10 the previous 2 nights and plus 30 for the season already. So if you want that, that's available over at the Patreon. But I'm not kidding when I say yesterday, there's a lot of people on there. I've been a little overwhelmed recently. I'm starting to feel, act, look, and talk like Doc Brown. No, but it's a pretty enjoyable vibe, especially in the chat rooms, especially when it's going well. When Tom Wilson nails that second point, or even just during the Sabres eruption yesterday, everybody went from despising the Sabres to now they got themselves a McLeod jersey. They ordered a McLeod jersey after what he did for us last night. So hopefully I see you over there. If not, no worries. And I really mean it from the bottom of my vampire heart. No worries. Give me a week or two to settle down. I need a couple of Z's. So what you can do, and it's very much appreciated. You guys, I'm telling you, I'm not a credit refuser. You've done a great job liking, commenting, hitting that hype button, because this show has definitely found more people early this season. Now, do I think I have a little something to do with that? I think a little bit. I don't know who else is, blasting Pump It Up and distorting the words to bump it up to describe how you're going to take an under 6.5. So I like to think I bring a little bit of entertainment to this, especially for you people who don't watch hockey. I know there are a lot of people out there who I've gotten into hockey who had never watched previously. So hopefully you're one of those people, and hopefully you've been enjoying the season so far. And hopefully all these bets go well for you tonight. I will see you tomorrow for the next round of NHL Sniffs, and also look out for week 7 of a Dave and a Dan. So keep clicking, keep liking, don't get lazy. I'm very appreciative, unless you want to be a prick, and then you can still comment all sorts of gargoyleness and whatever. I'll talk to you guys later. Have a good one.
I've had enough.